Welcome all and everybody here. Thank you guys for coming in and sorry for keeping you guys waiting. I know it's been a long wait, been a bit late. Sorry about that, but we got a quick show. Just a little bit. We're gonna touch on some what's the status quo, what's going on with Manchester United. You know, everyone's talking about a takeover. Everyone's talking about Jim Ratcliffe. Everyone's talking about this and that, possible new transfers, whatever. But we're not going to talk too much about the transfer. We're just going to go over quickly what's being said about Jim Ratcliffe and what's possibly going to happen with him and what's taking place right now. And as I would like to let everyone know, take this time to like, subscribe, hit that like button, guys. Help us get around, help the channel grow. It's free to subscribe as well. Just get in and have your bit. We'll introduce everyone and talk to everyone in the chat room in a bit. Welcome to my brother GB for shouting out, for jumping in. Got the Irish moss in hand. This dude, this guy, and my brother from another mother. Got to bring him to the stage right now. Drex, what's going on, my bro? Is everything
Yo,
good? What's
I'm
good
good.
with you?
I'm alright. How you doing? How you doing?
Chilling.
Oh,
Long night for the team. You know
big
what I
up,
mean?
bestie.
Then we have Fuel TV. Had a mad show earlier on. It was running loud. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Lots of super chats, lots of new members. I think they got like 79 new members. It was
Oh,
great.
that's
You know what I
beautiful.
mean?
That
They
is
talk.
beautiful. That is beautiful.
Yeah, those guys went in depth with the transfer talk, so I'm not gonna go into depth, but we're just gonna
Mm-hmm.
touch on a few quick points, as
Yeah.
we start off quickly. They said Sir Jim Ratcliffe is closing in, but as I asked the question there, as you can see the question mark,
But
there's a 6 to 8 week delay on what's possibly gonna happen. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna ask you, what do you think about this? What's really going on?
Okay.
What do you think?
Uh, you most of it. You know my stand on this one, right? It's
Yeah.
it's full sale only, but since we're not getting that, right? I just have
Mhm.
one thing. Everybody keeps saying it's all done. It's Sir James is gonna get in about a week or about 2 weeks. What's not and what's not, right? But have they announced the winner yet? I still can't find the report anywhere that if a winner and an actual winner has been announced, or if the board actually has approved any of this.
Yeah, like I don't even know because like everyone's saying, all the news reports, Samuel Lockers, you know, Sky News,
Mhm.
everyone is going like, Sir Jim is done. He's about to do everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for me, it's like unless the Rain Group comes out with something, Bloomberg and Reuters both agree on their posting, I'm gonna leave it up until we see something official because for me, man, I don't really like this. I'm my stance, guys, and everyone knows me, knows how I feel. Full sale only, 100% Glazers out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I
Yeah.
don't really know. I don't really know what's going on. Otherwise, I mean, if we have to settle for Sir Jim, we'll deal with that bridge when we have to cross it. You know what I mean? That's just the way I
Yeah.
live.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, shout out to GB for getting in, and let's move
Oh,
along
big
because
up GB. Big up GB.
we're not going to stay too long on the Sir Jim. But what's really happening right now is Richard Arnold has been sacked. You know what I mean?
Do most people people like to say use the word sack. I like to use the word mutual agreement to go both ways, to go separate ways, the word sack always has always has a bitter taste in my mouth, right? I don't like anybody losing their job. I prefer more to say
A
mutual.
mutual agreement to
You
part
get
ways,
you get because from the some of the notes or the quotes I read about him, his own speech and all of that. It feels like it was time for him to actually leave. But I don't
Mm,
know if this came as a result of the fact that he had support for the 92 Foundation taking over. I don't know,
mhm.
or if this was already a motion that's been set way back from the time they said the strategic review was going to take place, or if it was as a result of the way he handled the Greenwood issue and all of that. So I for one, I don't know exactly why this is happening, but it feels like yeah, people are right to actually say, okay, things have been set in motions in terms of takeover and all of that, right? But Need I remind everyone that even if it was the 92 Foundation, whether the 92 Foundation or Sir jIM takes over, there was going to be a change
Yeah,
in the
I
power.
totally hear that.
There was going to
And
be
I totally agree with that. Like, like I was thinking the same thing along the same lines. I was like, whether or not it was Sir jIM or Qatar coming in, they were going to definitely sack some members of the board. They were going to sack some member of the backroom staff.
Sure,
They might
sure.
even hire new coaches around Ten Hag, that kind of thing. Because at the end of the day, any new owner would want to have the best in class. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Uh, Man United is in a state, and right now, Rich and all, despite his pros and his cons, it's just not working out right now. You know what I mean? In the best interest of the club, and it might be
I
in different perspectives. It could be a
mhm,
positive thing because, like, I mean, if I'll just touch on this point really shortly, like. I was one that was happy that he was trying to bring Greenwood back because I believe that the law is the law, and unless the
mhm,
law says you're guilty, then
mhm.
you know what I mean. Public opinion could be public opinion. At the end of the day, not everyone shares that opinion, and a lot of people like to say a majority believes this and a majority believes that, but there's a billion United fans. I'm pretty
But
sure they never put that to a poll. And if
on
they was to put that to a poll, would they be
uh-huh.
satisfied with a majority ruling? Because at the end of the day, the majority of fans was to say, "Yeah, bring Greenwood back. We forgive him." The minority is still going to be upset. You know what I mean? So for
Yeah.
me, it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. So
If you
apart from
don't,
that,
yeah, yeah.
like there's not much I can say that he did wrong or much I could say he did right in the sense that
No,
I
but
feel like some of the transfers, some of the things might not be within his capacity because at the end of the day we were run by the
yeah.
Glazers, you know what I mean, and they signed the checks at the end of the day. So he might have good ambitions and been roadblocked. You never know. That's just my thinking.
But my take on that is the fact that for him to have actually, in terms of the Greenwood decision, right, for him to have actually come out with the mindset of trying to actually thinking of reinstating Greenwood back into the team, right?
Hmm.
I feel like he would have discussed that at board levels. He would have actually told them at the board level, and people would have actually given maybe let's say 70%, 80% of the board would have actually given an okay, right? So
Hmm.
now coming out in public to actually to test the waters, like see what the fans' reaction would be, shouldn't have been done. Where I think he made a mistake with that was the minute Greenwood was cleared, the minute the charges were dropped, they should have taken the initiative at that time to actually make a decision, not wait and drag the issue on and state that, oh, they were doing an internal investigation. No, the minute it was dropped, take your a month or two to do whatever you want to do and make a decision. The longer it lingered, the more the pressure on him. If he had done that, and if they had taken a stand way early in the in when way early when the charges were dropped, I think he would have gotten away with it. Not so much, but now the flames would have been dying down
Yeah,
and what's not. But
yeah.
for him to have waited that long, just because the charges were, I think I believe the charges were dropped somewhere around February, right? February
It
thereabout,
was
if I'm
no,
not
they were
mistaken.
actually dropped the charges. Yeah, they were dropped around February, March.
Yeah. So
And I had to save myself. Like if the charges were dropped, I'd immediately bring him back to the team. I might not have started
that's
him, but I bring him back
that's
to
what
training immediately.
that's
That
what I'm
I
saying.
think I
Because
think
if
that might have made it easier.
yeah, if the charges were, let's say, imagine it was dropped at, I think it was March, right? It was dropped in March,
Hmm.
and they took about. Now he comes and says, hands up, I'm not going to get myself involved in this. We're going to get an external body to do the investigation. Give them a time
Hmm.
frame of 6 weeks. Get the investigation done in 6 weeks, because there's nothing you're doing. The
Hmm. Hmm.
what is it, the CMP, or Crown Prosecution of the Greater Manchester Police, right? They already did what they had to do So all you were just doing was just like a formality. 6 weeks, you're done. Make a decision, bring the boy in, get him to training or something like that, right? So
Yeah.
rather than drag it up onto towards the later end of the transfer window, that just put the searchlight on everything. Because mind you, if you had done it at, let's say, late April, no, early May, right? We still had we still had the FA Cup to think about. We had the latter end of the season to worry about. We still were looking at if we're going to finish top 4. So that would have been a distraction of some sort for the fans, right? But that being said, that being said about this case, I just felt like that was the only place he actually made a mistake, in my opinion, right? But every other thing he has done since he took off, every other thing he has done since he took off, it's been fine. It's been fine. So my greatest issue is not with Arnold, actually, is with Malta, John Malta. Arnold at least tends to come out, not really in the press, but when asked questions, I've seen Arnold give some speech here and there. But what's his name? John Malta, and hides behind I don't know what he's doing. I haven't seen that guy address the press, the public, or the fans. So if, like I said earlier in the group, I said John Morton if anybody was supposed to lead the way out of the football club, it should be John Morton leading the way, then Arnold would follow. But maybe the head has to go, then the body would follow. Maybe that's what they're looking at. But whatever it is, it's for the best of the club and the best of the structure. And I think most fans are actually on board with it. So it is what it is. Big up, Papi.
Yeah, big up, Papi. Big up, the man. Hit the like and subscribe. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. And as GB is saying here, GB is saying, I can see them loaning Greenwood out for publicity purpose. Let his shit die down and bring the lad back. I think it was a good move. Me too. Like in the end, like it's doing both of us a good because if you look at like his performance right now, he has more goals than any one of our single forward line. If we talk just Premier League, more goal contribution. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in my opinion, football should be based on football. Football stars should be judged on what they do on a football field. And let's just say he did make a mistake. Like if it's not something I want to talk about, but I'm just saying for all intents and purposes, he was 18 years old when that happened. Just remember that this went on for like about almost 18 months. You know what I mean? So it's a young guy, bro, and like people make mistakes sometimes, and sport traditionally, historically, has always been something that was the turning point for a lot of people. Misguided youth, troubled, ex-cons. It's just the way it is. It was always meant to rehabilitate people and give them somewhere to express themselves. When they didn't fit into the normal of society. You know what I mean? Like the regular day jobs and all those things. So I believe in giving people chances and stuff like that is important to me. So let's move on from the rich and Arnold, because I guess we already talked about that. If Bots want to jump in, he could come in and give us a 2 pence. But this is Blanc, the new CEO, supposed to come in and replace Richard Arnold as ordered by Sir Jim Ratcliffe.
Before we move on to Blanc, right? I just like what GB is saying here. He said, we talked about the loaning out being a good move. Yeah, people are short-minded. You're right. People are short-minded. I know people forget shit. That GB, you're right. That was what I was saying. If they had made a decision at the early May, because the charges were dropped in February, they get an external body to do an investigation for about 4 to 6 weeks, make a decision by the second week of May, if they're going to integrate him in, and by the transfer window, everybody's forgotten about the issue. Everybody's like actually looking forward to see Greenwood playing. Bear in mind, there was the quote unquote the global fan base, like people know, the fans that they say if you're not from Manchester, you're not a true fan. That's what I'm saying, quote unquote. Most people actually wanted him back. Most people actually forgave him. Most people actually saw, okay, the charges were dropped, then he's a free man. So, but I guess that's where, like I said, he made his mistake. Now, on to the new CEO. This guy has a pretty good record, because I think he did a good job with if I'm not mistaken, PSG, right? He did a
Yeah.
he was a PSG, right? Yeah, so he did a good job at PSG, and I for one, I don't see any problem with Blanc. I don't see any problem at all with him. I feel like we need United need fresh start, and if we're going to be going with someone of his caliber, he's got the experience. So because what we've had in the past, in the past 18 years, we've had Woodward, we've had Arnold. Those guys, they're just pure money merchants, right? They're good at making money for any business. They're money men. Not so much football inclined, quote and unquote, if you know what I mean. So I feel like with Blanc at the CEO position, it won't be a bad idea. It brings in lots of experience. He's actually done good. I believe in I don't know if he's still with Juventus. I don't think he's still with Juventus, right? But he's had his own um good what we call it now, remarks in terms of his positioning with PSG and that of Juventus. So yeah, GB, that's honestly, if this guy, if Blanc is gonna be the new CEO, right? I would go back and revisit the ranking situation. I would go back and
Yeah, like
revisit the running situation. I wouldn't. You're right. I'm not too convinced about the Paul
and
Mitchell guy. I'm not too
GB
convinced
pull out
about
a
that guy.
dream team there, from he pull out the classic. He bring out the
No, because
classic.
no.
No, because you're bringing a man
Go
like
ahead.
Gil who know the club history from back. He helped Sir Alex, so he already
Because
know the
because
identity.
someone like Gil might not be the CEO, right? Might be at the background, more of like a consultancy role
Yeah, like an advisor
to the
in
Blanc
between the
guy.
three. Then, like
You get what I mean?
like how they say, like they say they had Joel. Like, and some people might hate to go and say this, but if I was to get 20 minutes with the Glazers, they don't need Sir Jim. And I mean, like, like, no, I'm telling
I
you
get
for
what
real,
you.
I'm being
I
honest.
said it. I said.
Because
I said it. I said it.
because then I
If you
would have
just
said
tell me,
to
I
them,
did it.
listen, as an international fan, I know the fans in England hate y'all, but let me just put this, just think about this perspective. If all they spend 500 million or a billion, let me just say, oh, let's start building a new stadium, and they give you 10 players in the next year and a half. In the next 2 windows, we want 10, right? Or let me say not 10, let me say 8 players, right? But we want the 8 players, but we want Ragnick back, we want Gill, and we want ETH. So the three of them in control, and all Joel doing is signing checks for these fellas. You understand? Let Gil advise Joel on yeah or no, and Joel just sign. And bro, like, let me tell you something. 2 seasons I given them. 2 seasons, bro, and I being honest, our fortunes could change around. And when I talking about change, I talking about in 2 seasons, if we could get 10 players in the next 3 windows,
Yeah.
bro, we want to become title. We want to morph into title contenders. And people might say it's been a little bit exaggerative or whatever the case is, but like we have a decent squad and we there and thereabouts, and they're not even performing well. You understand what I'm saying? And as much as people want to say, well, United are shit right now, yeah, but we shit. I mean, sixth. Everybody talking about
True.
Chelsea and Poch, and they points behind us. You understand? So, like, I just keep it real. Like, I not going to talk about the team playing well and all that jazz right now, because we're not playing that well. We're looking like a team on the up. To be fair, it
Yeah.
mightn't be a drastic upwards, but the trajectory is upwards, and they're
Yeah.
looking like they're
Yeah.
gelling a little bit. They're
Yeah.
coming together a little bit, and things happening for the squad. And then we seeing like certain players coming back from injury. You know what I mean? We talk about
Yeah.
Blanc just now, and well, they don't
Mhm.
already know the double team is Blanc and Paul
No, but
Mitchell.
but honestly, I see. I'm gonna take a back seat on this one. This
Well, I mean,
guy. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, my thing with this guy, I and GB have a similar opinion to this guy, and is the fact that this guy bounced or wrong a bit. He did some good things at Monaco. He did some good things here. He did some good things here. He did some good things at Spurs. He did some good things there. But he's none of those teams never really won anything. You
I
understand?
get you.
And
I get you. That's what I'm
and my
saying.
problem is I
Oh
don't
man.
I'm not mad at him. But I'm not saying that okay, it's his fault that the team never won anything. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? But I just want to understand if it is that he got a better offer when he was leaving each program to go where he went to,
Hmm.
or it was the club thinking that he was too the problem was him or
Himself.
something like that. Because at the same
Yeah.
time, look at it like this, right? I know when
Yeah.
he went to Monaco,
Hmm.
he went from Spurs to Monaco, right? I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
And at
Yes.
Monaco,
What's
he
Monaco?
was
Yeah.
instrumental in Kylian Mbappe, I believe,
Yeah.
discovering Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah.
And from Monaco, he went to, I think it's somewhere in Italy. I'm not sure if it
Mm,
was Lazio or some
I,
or Napoli or something like that. It was one
I'm
of them
good.
Italian clubs that wasn't doing so
Uh-huh.
well, I think. And then he come
Hmm.
back and they started doing well. Now, my thing is we need somebody who could
Hmm.
bring in some good talent with good connections. And he might not
Oh
be
yeah.
a proven winner, but he definitely
Yeah.
better than what we have, in my opinion. And as much as I would be like, I being real honest, I want Ragnick back. This
Oh
is
yeah.
why I was so much in favor of Qatar, because I know under new ownership, we definitely have a chance of score again, Ragnick back.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Now it's like iffy and wish and hope. You know what I mean?
He
So
was. He was. He was the. He was with. Paul Mitchell was with Leipzig as well. Yeah.
yeah,
They
he
were.
was with
Is it
Leipzig and the RB group, but he
Salzburg?
was
Yeah.
he
Salzburg.
was
Yeah.
under
And yeah.
Ragnick. He was under Ragnick when they was building them
Ragnick.
club.
Yeah. Ragnick. Yeah. So, um, all in all, man, I don't honestly. My only. Okay, like I said, I was gonna play a little bit of um devil's advocate with him on this one, since you and Bestie are already saying no to him, right?
Hmm.
Let it not be that all three panel, all three of us are actually just casting him down. I'm gonna say this: those clubs he's been, or those clubs he's been opportune to work with. JB killing me, man. This is that's the minor league. Yeah, that's what I'm coming to, JB. That's what I'm coming to, Bestie. Just hold on. He's been on the minor leagues, right? He's been on the minor leagues. How about we've seen that he's got a little bit of pedigree with him, right? He knows his onions. He knows the structure of the European scene in terms of scouting. I know, GB, in terms of scouting and what's not, right? But let's carry that. Let's take that man that has these um years of experience, right, and put him in a Manchester United um football club, who's got the one of the biggest club in the world, right? So now with his contact, with his experience and a little bit of expertise, working in a club the size of Manchester United, that should be able to blow him out of the minor leagues and actually put him right there in the what should I call it, in the major leagues, right? So I like see, am I 100% certain that he would deliver? No. But am I 100% certain that he would not? No, as well. So I'm more like a 60 or 65, 35 percentage wise in favor of he would just do well with us. He would do well. That he will be way levels way better than John Motor, right? So I don't want to say anything better than John Motor. Let's say in terms of 6/10 is good. No, I actually want us to get 10/10 in terms of best in class and all of that, right? But guess what? Paul Mitchell is English, Sir Jim is English, so we could all do the math, and you could see why he's more favored in terms of the director of football role. I don't know if what's may call it. I don't know if the 19 Foundation would have gotten somebody different, right? But I remember when Wise Rangnick was here, and Paul Mitchell visited one of the games. The fans were clamoring for Paul Mitchell. Was it because he was available? We wanted somebody with his knowledge in the position, maybe. But right now, I don't know. I actually don't know. I'm just trying to keep it simple and keep it open, right? Just trying to keep it simple and keep it open and just see where it leads. If it's not if rumors that have been passed spread out there or reports being put out there is anything to go by, then one can actually say, okay, if he's not living up to standard, then he's going to get the axe. So we might as well just see what he has to offer. Because I want for me, I just want him to, if he gets the job, I do not like I want him to get the job, but I say if he gets the job, he should have the he should put his ears right in front of Raf Rangnick's mouth and get those wisdom and get those direction from Raf Rangnick. The two of them are best friends, or the two of them, let me not say best friends, the two of them, they actually are good acquaintance. They know themselves very well. So that shouldn't be a problem. For me, the key thing here is Manchester United should revisit. Big up, GB. Big up. Thanks for joining us on the stream. Yeah, Manchester United should revisit the area of Ralf Rangnick and try to see how they could get him on board, even if it's a 1-year consultancy role. They should go back and revisit that. Yo, big up, Bestie. Thank you for being with us today, for sharing your time with us, spending time with us. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Oh yeah, now we've got what's Sancho, Jadon Sancho. Is the question, is Jim Sancho's lifeline? Because I read a report today where it says that Jim Ratcliffe is trying to order or is ordering Eric Ten Hag to end off feud with Jadon Sancho. If that route is taken in terms of quote unquote order, therefore means the player power will continue even in Sir Jim's reign. The player power will continue because it's a clear, except the report is actually, which I don't believe though, because it was coming from is a cross mail sport. I don't actually believe them. So if there's any credibility in that at all whatsoever, then we are in for a big long ride with player power, because it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going away anytime soon if that's the case. What I would think Jim would try to do is get both parties in a room, have a conversation with them, see where the errors lies. Even it might not be Sir Jim, it might be the new director of football or the CEO alongside maybe Sir Jim, and get everybody's hear everybody out and see. So just hear everybody out and just see what's hear what they have to say, see where amends can be made, see where everybody can call it a truce, and move on from there. If he's still adamant that he doesn't want to apologize, or if he feels like Ten Hag has to apologize first or something like that, then find a common ground. If the common ground is going to be undermining the manager, then you don't want to take that. You don't want to do that, because the minute you start doing that, every other person would actually look at it and be like, okay, I have a way around the club. Because one of the things we're trying to cut out as fans, we want to take it out of this team, is the player power. We want that gone. We want that eradicated. So if there will be any sort of any atom of it remaining, it will just end up growing into something bigger later. So just Get two of them in the room, try to sort it out amicably without anybody's ego being crushed, and get back to business. Because Sancho is paid to do a job, he should do his job.
PGM Mall released the VAR audio for McSauce and, his goal ruled offside. Controversially, a subjective offside. Subjective. Yo, Drex, sometimes I be thinking to myself, are they looking for every single reason just to give United zero at the end of a game, 0 points?
It could.
Because
I actually look at it and say, could it be the PGMOL's input on forcing things to go in favor of the sale? Because I don't understand. It's just a weird theory by me, though. It's not nobody should be running with that, but it's just a weird theory. Like, how do you look for every reason to want to pen us down? Is there something happening that we don't know about? Could it be as a result of the goal that was given in favor of us against Manchester City last season? Is it we've never really, other than that incident, or I don't think we've had VAR going overboard for us. So I still don't understand why it is happening the way it is. I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. Like, fine, I heard the clip, I heard the voice recording, and on the one hand, it made sense to actually, okay, look at all people involved, because actually it was stated that Maguire went for the ball, thereby putting that defender off track, right? Now focusing on that, I get it. I could see why they ruled it off. They ruled it offside. But similarly, contrary to that, we've had incidents in the league with the Man City one where Akanji was right in front of the goalie, and when the ball was played, he actually moved his feet and all, tried to kick the ball, but it didn't get through. So it's the inconsistency for me, actually, because if you're going to be calling that play and say, okay, Maguire was trying to interfere with the play, then I get it. I could understand why you called it. But don't say it's subjective. What has subjectivity got to do with the game that's so objective? I still don't get it, man.
Yeah, because like I was just gonna say, like, how many times we've seen other teams score that goal? How many times? We've seen it with Man City, we've seen it with Arsenal, we've seen it with Newcastle, we've seen it. How many times have we seen a player considered to be offside, but he's not the one who touches the ball? Like, the ball goes past him.
Yeah.
The other player who receives the ball is onside, thereby playing him onside afterwards. So, in my honest opinion, like, as a Man United fan, I could understand. Listen, we should not be leaving anything to chance. We should be scoring all our goals unanimously. Fathom how to put it, like, emphatically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they should not have a question. They can stop it. Like a goal from outside the 18, bang, in the back of the net. There's no review on that. No one's offside. It's from the outside the 18, bang, and that's burst.
But sometimes you're playing against another 11 that's trying to cut you offside as well. You're playing against a team that's prepared themselves, prepared their game plan, on all ramification to just see how to stop you from putting the ball at the back of the net. So whilst we want a good passage of play that will lead to a goal, you should not also forget the fact that teams will be set up in a way to actually
put you offside.
Yeah, so because sometimes it's just those fine margins, just fine margins. Like if what's his name? If Maguire, when I saw that, I'm like, okay, if Maguire didn't go for that ball, are they trying to tell us that the defender would have done something with that ball? Are they trying? Because to me, it was more of, I saw it as the defender was more of trying to put Maguire off position or off balance, so he doesn't than anything else. I don't think the defender knew the ball was already gone past him. So what he needed to do was just put Maguire off. So Maguire would.
Exactly.
So, but that again, it's all comes down to fine margins, like fine margins. That's what I see.
Yeah, you know. So I won't talk too much about it because I disagree with the call. I think it's a goal all day long. You know what I
Mm.
mean? At the end of the day, the player who was onside received the ball, and another player who was onside buried the goal.
Yeah, true.
Not Maguire. He had no
Not
real
Maguire. He
part to
had
play.
no plot. Yeah.
So that's excessive force. But things are looking up. A lot of fans are
Hmm.
always asking, when are we going to see India? When are we going to see India? Well, the African Cup of Nations is coming up in January, and the team is well preparing for him to be the new number one for the period of 6 weeks, while Andre Nana goes out to play with his home nation.
With
So it's India's
Cameron, right?
chance to shine. Cameroon,
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah, Cameroon.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be here in January. So I think we're going to see one or two games coming down to Christmas season where we're going to see Bayern in goal. I think it's going to happen. Might even be this weekend, this following opening game against Everton. You never know, guys. So I was just saying,
Me,
it's he's been.
I'd give him a run of games so we get to see what, because you don't want a situation where you just throw him in start of January, right? When Onana leaves,
Mhm.
and he gets overwhelmed or he gets swallowed up with
Exactly.
with the. I believe in you should give him maybe 2 3 games prior to January. Okay, we only have about what 2 weeks left in November. Then yeah, there
Yeah,
should be
and
a
then
couple
you
of
have
games. Yeah, there should be a couple.
there's about 11 games until the season takes a break until January. There's 11
So
games, I believe.
so it should get, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm not, I just on the safe side, he should get about four games on, just so that he could, especially with the Old Trafford, those ones at Old Trafford, where
Hmm.
the expectation is high. At the same time, he has the fans behind him, right? And
Hmm.
he can actually backs in that environment with the love and the support from the fans. And let's see how it deals, because remember when the Brafka's first game, the
Hmm.
lonely goalkeeper from Newcastle. I remember his first game. He was looking like he was very unsettled. He was not his confidence level wasn't that high. So um yeah, we should he Eric Ten Hag should think about giving this guy maybe 2 3 4 games before he actually takes the mantle come
Yeah,
January when Onana goes for the AFCON.
that's why I'm saying like the game against Everton is not a bad game to give him a play.
He's
I mean,
tall, he's good with his feet, he's a good shot
Everton
stopper.
is not like a perilous team with like a barrage of attackers. You know what I mean? It's gonna
Hmm.
be a tough game, but they're more compact. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
They got Dan Juma, but I haven't seen him play that much.
No, I they have this what's his name, Cabot Lewin. That guy is
He's
Dominic
what?
is actually, he's not that, he's sleek though. He's sleek in terms of he has a way with giving our defense, especially if it's gonna be Maguire. Okay, not Johnny Evans. So if it's gonna be Maguire and Lindelof, then oh my days, he has a way of just getting past them. So but if we're playing at home, I wouldn't start this guy away. I wouldn't. I would want him to be home to get the fans behind him and feel get that confidence boost behind him. That's what I would do. That's what I think. After Everton, who do we have next? Let me just pull it up. I think after Everton, we've got the Champions League, right?
Mm.
We've got the Champions League. Yeah, after Everton, yeah, we got Everton away, then we've got Galatasaray, then Newcastle away, Chelsea at home. So if anything, I'd give him, except injuries happened to Onana before the time, I'd give him the game on December 9th against at home we are home against Bournemouth. I'll give him that game and to just see how he
Yeah.
performs because
Bournemouth has a good
it's
striker that's kind of in form, that he goes into form for
no.
Christmas every season in Solanke. I mean, I
I
would
don't
rather
have a
give him the
problem with
game.
that.
I would rather give him this game against Everton, fresh off the international break. Give him a
Yeah,
shot.
yeah.
Onana gets one game to rest, and then he
Mm-hmm,
plays Champions League
mm-hmm.
in Galatasaray
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Wednesday night.
yeah.
Then it's back for what who we
Newcastle,
playing Newcastle.
Newcastle.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you give Bayern a shot. You let Bayern there get in goal this weekend. Let them get a warm up, see how it is. You know what I mean? Let
Mm-hmm,
Andre rest, and who knows? He might play well, so well that you might start him Wednesday, and then therefore now you have Newcastle wondering who is starting in goal on Saturday. You know
true,
what I mean?
true, true.
Everton is not a bad game. It's just as similar team in my opinion as Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth has a better attack. And to be honest, I don't rate
Yeah.
Calvin Phillips. I think he's average guff in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I would play him against Everton. That's just my opinion. I think because Everton is at home. No, it's
Yeah.
away.
No, we are. Yeah,
Everton is
Everton is
away.
away. Yeah,
That's
Everton is
why I would
away.
play him at Everton because because it's away, you want him to face some pressure. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And then I think at home away, the
Mm,
away fans are going to be a lot more supportive.
okay.
You know what I mean? When they get behind him, because
Mm,
when they switch sides, he
yeah.
ends up in front of the away fans.
The
And
away
I
fans.
think
Yeah.
if we could get him in that situation, the away fans are really, really they always singing, they're loud, they're
Mm,
always cheering, they're very supportive. And I think
yeah.
that might be
Big
the
up.
best game to start him.
Big up to the away fans. One of the best in the league, if not the best in the
Best
league.
in the league, a hundred
Yeah.
percent. Now let's another one of these things. You know what I mean? Everyone is thinking Hoyland is injured. Is Hoyland injured? What's going
Is
on?
injured.
Well, guys, I'm here to inform you. He's still at the club. He's been resting. He's not
Mm-hmm.
gone on international duty, and he's just resting and recuperating,
That's
recharging
good.
for
That's good. That's good.
the fresh after the break. So he has 2 weeks
That's good.
rest. I
Mm-hmm.
think this week he's just resting, and then next week he's gonna start doing some light work. But
Mm-hmm.
more information will be given on that. But the headline is he's not gone on international duty. He's being
He's
rested.
back. Yeah, that's
So
that's a good one. It's just a shame that Everton would have to put up with Martial again. Martial seems to be one of the Achilles heel. He has a way around Everton. He always has a way around Everton. So
no,
let's
I
just
think that's a
see.
good game for Martial. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Start a new striker, start a new keeper.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new look. You know what I mean? Fresh off the international break.
Mm-hmm.
Martial gets a brace,
Mm-hmm.
buy in their clean sheet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're
Yeah.
rocking and
Yeah.
rolling
Yeah.
going into the Champions League, going into Galatasaray. You know what I mean, guys?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
everyone's on the captain's case, but I'll never forget watching Bruno pick everyone up off the field after we lost to Copenhagen, pulling all the guys up, Garnacho, Palestri, all of
Mm-hmm.
them. And then after the
But
game,
there was nobody to pull
he's
him up. You
there's
remember?
no one to pull him up.
You see the
You know what I
video where he
mean?
was sitting on the stairs. There was
Yeah,
nobody to just be
crying,
like,
bro.
"Yo,
Like,
man, Bruno, it's okay, get up." But
yeah,
it is
man,
what it
it's
is.
difficult. And
Yeah,
and
man.
he gets so much stick, and this guy gives 100% every game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
It's true he's not gonna have a great game every game, and he plays a lot of football. But you
Yeah,
know what I mean? We gotta support our players now more than ever because they all we got.
yeah,
We ain't
man.
getting no new
True,
ones just like that anyway.
true.
You know what I mean? Unless the academy guys pull through, or we get some cheeky cheap signing and he turns
Mm-hmm.
out to be a star. That's the
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing we gotta cherish these guys. And I'll go on to the next one quickly as we saying, back and better than before. Ahmad Diallo is back in full training. You know,
Is it really back?
yeah, he's back. He's
Oh
really
man.
back. Like he wasn't in the. Everyone was hoping that he'd be on the bench, but like I was telling everyone, I
Mm-hmm.
said it on the stream with Mick. Even though Jarvis was hyped and Ahmad is back, I was telling Jarvis, he's just touched grass. He's not going to be
Yeah,
rushed back into the
yeah,
starting lineup or on the bench. He's going to be remain in training for like 3 to 6 weeks before he gets on the bench. You know what I mean? And I
yeah.
think that's the right decision. Like I'm going to be honest. I don't think he's gonna be the answer on the right wing.
But why not?
But
Why not?
no, no. You see, I have a different plan. Let me finish. You know what I mean? But I think if we're gonna play Bruno as an 8, you could drop Ahmad in the 10. You know what I mean? I think
Okay.
he's creative. He's got the ability. He's got the mobility. He
He
could
has
beat
the
him.
football intelligence, though.
He could dribble his man. You know, he has a shot, but he could also play in other players. I mean, he's young. He's gonna have to learn. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I think that's the. I think if we're gonna drop Bruno to a 8, I think this is the best option for a 10. He's got the mobility. He's young.
And he
He can
has the
grow,
IQ. He has the football IQ
and
to
he could
actually
learn, and he would learn
play in
from
that.
Bruno.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Bruno is really, really good. And if we and he's able to keep the ball well and think so. I believe, like, if he could keep the ball well,
Look after the ball.
he
Yeah.
could be
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
the register version to Bruno. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm a huge fan of Kobe Menu. You know what I mean? But Kobe
Hmm.
Menu hasn't been getting minutes yet, and but I know why. I think he's left him in the youth to make
Hmm.
sure the youth team qualifies to the next round of the Champions League at least.
Oh,
You know what
okay.
I mean?
Okay. Okay.
Because we have 4 points in the group currently, and we're in second place because we beat Galatasaray in the first round. So when
Yeah.
we go to Galatasaray, they're hoping to do the double away.
Yeah.
And who knows, they might do the double. Kobe wasn't in the game the last time, neither was Dan Gore. They were with
Yeah.
the first team. And so they're there. So if they beat them 2-0 the first time, they could beat them 4-0 this time. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
I think the U team is the under 18s are going to qualify for the next round because they're in the lead. Bayern is in first. Bayern beat Copenhagen and beat
Galatasaray.
Galatasaray. Copenhagen won against us in the opening game,
Oh, okay.
and then we beat them at home.
Oh,
So
okay.
we're on 4 points because we drew.
We
We
drew
drew
with
with
Bayern.
Bayern.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're on 4 points, and Copenhagen is on 3 points, and Bayern is on 9 points.
All right. That's cool. That's cool.
So
That's
that's
cool.
not bad. It's not bad.
That's not
You know
bad.
what I
That's
mean?
not bad. Yeah.
Moving along, So let's touch on Eric Ten Hag. Like, what are your thoughts on Eric Ten Hag? But despite the start of the season that we've been having, and all that is being said and done, we're 6 points off Manchester City, or 7 points, I believe, off Manchester City. We're
Hmm.
sitting in sixth. We haven't been playing well,
Yeah.
but in the last few games, we have 5 wins out of 6.
So you know what they say about not playing well and getting results? It gives you some sort of level of confidence to go, because when you start playing well and getting results, then it heightens your confidence. So that being said, I would also want to say that with the takeover situation gradually coming to an end, there should be some sort of clarity amongst within the club, within the players, amongst the coaching crew and the coaching staff. That way everybody now knows, okay, what's where we're headed, right? So if, because let's say the announcement is made tomorrow, every player knows. Now the announcement is made tomorrow, or whatever it is made, let's say by the end of this week, every player on international duty knows that, okay, there's a new boss around in town, and the new director of football, there's a CEO coming in, and everybody now has the idea of, okay, it's not going to be football or business as usual. They would expect results from us. Everybody has to, because you can't go looking for making allies when you might be on the chalkboard, if you know what I mean. So the best thing to do is, the one person that could be your friend would, if in my understanding and in my thinking, is the manager. So you have to get behind the manager. You have to play your heart out for the manager, and let the manager be the one to say, okay, give this person this, or do not give this person that. That being said, I still feel like Eric Ten Hag would come through, would deliver the goods for us, right? As long as he gets the backing he deserves. People are quick to jump on, oh, he spent the 400 million or whatever. We shouldn't forget that part of that money, a good chunk of that money, might have been saved if the people who were in charge knew what they were doing. You don't go
100%.
telling a player, telling the director of football or the CEO that a certain player costs 50 million, then you relate that back to the Glazers, and the Glazers say don't do it, only to go back a month or two later and go spend 100 million on the same player that you should have gotten for what half the amount. So it's if people tend to blame the Glazers. I'm not cutting them any slack, but people tend to blame the Glazers. Say, okay, they said no, and later they brought the money because they had to do panic buying, panic setting, and all of that. But I like to see it from the angle of people that went for the negotiation didn't know what they were doing. They were quoted a certain figure, and they just said no, we can't pay that figure because they felt like, you know what, we're dealing with IAS. They you know how Manchester United of old, we go into some games and they just feel like they're playing against maybe a Stoke or something, right? They just feel like they've won the game. That's how I felt. These people, they were arrogant. I felt like they quoted a price to them, and they felt like, no, what's that? We're coming to Ajax. We are not coming to shop at Real Madrid or something. So they said no, only for them to actually go back because the manager actually told them, I need this player, and they had to
Yeah,
deliver.
they should have got him earlier.
They
They
should
should have
have.
got him earlier.
Even Martinez, no, even Martinez was
35.
for what, 35. They got him for 55, an extra 20 million that they should have saved.
Yeah,
So
they would
people
have
are quick.
saved like about 60 million, bro, because they
Yeah,
would have been Anthony for 45, Martinez for 30. That'd have
and
been
guess
90.
what?
That'd have been 90.
That's that's
That'd have
60
been
million.
80, as a matter of
Yeah,
fact.
that's 60 million. If all they
Would have
just
got
need to
Cody
do,
Gakpo and a
not even
defender.
Cody, not even Cody Gakpo, just put an extra. We're not talking about Casemiro now. Put an extra 20 of that saved 60 million, and you get your De Jong. If you have to pay off his 15 million or whatever it was, right? Then
Yeah.
you still have the Casemiro's money to go do a few shopping for a defensive mid and a right back. But no, they just wanted to just do things their way. It's the same. I just hope that when whoever takes on the club, be it jIM or 92 Foundation, I just hope that things just get better for us. It's not, if not, if we're still going to be doing what we used to do, then it's like we're spinning in circles, man.
Well, look at this, like it's it's January targets time, guys, my bro. So, let's get into this. I know a lot of people have been saying United has been looking at João Neves, but contrary to what they've been saying, Sporting played Lisbon in a derby,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And who plays for Lisbon?
Talo
Gonzalo Ignacio.
Ignacio, yeah.
And our scouts have been following him for the last 3 weeks. So a lot of
Yeah.
fans have been hyping, oh, the scouts were in the stadium. John Nevers was playing for Benfica,
Mm-hmm.
but they're playing in the derby against Goncalo Ignacio, who had a
Yeah.
great game, I might add. And he's actually one of the best deep lying playmakers in football
And
right now.
yeah, yeah,
He has one of the highest ball progressions percentages of all defenders. He's
yeah,
very, 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 very pressure resistant. He
yeah.
carries the ball well. He makes very good passing decisions. He could break lines. And I think Eric Ten Hag is very much interested in getting this guy to Manchester United in January. And I think this is going to be our first signing. So you heard it here, guys, first. And Drex, trust me, this guy,
I don't have a problem.
he is.
I've seen him play. Like I've seen him play there. I don't have a problem with him as long as he fits which I believe he would fit the team. But over the last 5 6 years, it feels like whenever a good talent comes into the team, they just die off because they get mixed with the old bad eggs, right? So I just feel like with this new regime coming into play, we might start to see some sort of weeding in the team, like getting out the old eggs or the dead wood and actually making the team, freshening up the team, giving the manager exactly the right ingredients to make what he wants to make, not just forcing people down the throat. So people tend to say, okay, but oh, McTominay and Maguire have come to the rescue for him. But guess what? If he had sold McTominay and Maguire, maybe we wouldn't have been in this position in the first place. Would have gotten a Kim and Jay and a better midfielder, and would have been rocking. But you never can know what's going to happen. That being said, Goncalo Ignacio, he's not a bad player. I've seen him play. He's a very good player, talented. Even in the European is it the qualifier now? I think it's either the UEFA Nations League or the qualifier. He's got a couple of goals already. So he all around he would be an interesting player to have in that team. An interesting player to have in our team. So I just hope whoever is doing the scouting, whoever is doing the reports, just find somewhere in there to make sure that they put this guy as a part of the people who will be in the A list. That's my take on Ignacio.
Yeah, and Ignacio is a really good player. Like in my opinion, I've watched him for the last couple of weeks. I've been watching the games consistently because I've been trying to get some insights into what he could bring. And he's like, I can't say he's a like for Martinez because he gives me more of a he gives me more of a Lindelof kind of finish.
Yeah.
Because he has that size, a Lindelof size. But the next thing on top of that is he has all the abilities of Martinez with the size of Lindelof. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like it could be an upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
Could be an upgrade, could be a chill situation. I just think, it's gonna if we do happen to get Goncalo, I think it's gonna be a good look for our defensive line going forward because he's a young guy, he's 23 years old, and
But
very high
yeah,
ceiling.
and he plays on the left side of the watchman talk we call it now. He plays on the left side of the defense. So
I mean,
where if he
look at it
does
like this, right?
where the way
If he comes in, we don't have to rush Martinez back this season. We could let Martinez rest and recuperate and come back strong next season. And then there's competition, you know what I mean? Who knows? He
because
could
he's
I'm pretty sure I've seen him play right center back twice, and he's not done bad. So you never know.
because his favorite foot should be the left one. And his what's we call it? His transfer market have him for about 30 million. Not bad, 30 million price range, which we know might still get up to like what 45, 50. I haven't never heard. Wait. I think I've heard of this guy.
Yeah, he plays for Milan, bro.
Milan, yeah.
January target, Rangers. He's a midfielder. He's not too bad. He's actually very good. The guy. He's very aggressive in a way. He's good. He's got good ball carrying ability. He could break lines, and he has an eye for goal. He's a guy that gets stuck in. He's not afraid to make the challenges in midfield. He's got a very good engine on him. He's very, very good, and he's young. I think he's like 21. I think he's either 20 or 21 years old right now. He's made himself into a starting position in the AC Milan team, and he's been heavily scouted by Manchester United right now. So we never know what could happen with this guy. With Eriksen's injury, Milan is always needing money.
Yeah.
He could be coming into the fold. You never know.
For some reason, for some reason, Milan seems to be needing money all the time. Like I don't know what's happening to Inter Milan, AC Milan. It feels like because 2 seasons ago they finished on top of the league. They actually won the Scudetto, right? So I don't know if let me take a quick look at him and see what his price might actually come down to be. Let's see. Gianni Ranger. Yeah, no. Let's see. Oh, he's he's a Dutch player, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's Dutch. His name is Rangers, bro. Like
No, I
you could have
actually
tell his name
first time
R-E-I-J.
first time I
From time you
actually
see R-E-I-J.
yeah, first time I'm actually seeing hearing of him actually. I tell no lie, you know. So
Yeah, but like
yeah.
I think he spent most of his time at Milan because he's been at the academy in Milan for like I
Hmm.
think he's been there for like about 3 years, I think,
Yeah.
or more. So he's been developed in Milan. He's been playing his football there, and yeah, I don't think
This
it's a bad
season
gamble. You know what I mean?
this season he's had 2 assists, 1 goal in 12 appearance. Mm, no, for a central mid, not that bad, but just his contribution is let's wait for the scouting report. His value not current value about 20 million. That's not a bad gamble if you actually
In the
or
grand scheme of things, you know
yeah,
what I
if you
mean?
want to yeah, if you want to look at it, it's not it's someone
I
that could
certainly think he's
it's
an
someone that could
upgrade
come
on
in.
Shoddy McTominay.
I was about to say that, like, if someone that could come in, the manager does his thing, and just maybe improve. He gets to improve under Eric Ten Hag, and maybe his output might improve, because from what I'm seeing right here, it doesn't strike me as someone that has a lot of goals in him. However, maybe his work rate, I have to do a deep dive into his personality, his kind of football acumen, and see
Well,
how he
like
suits
I
the
was
team. Yeah.
highlighting, his work rate is more of a box to box. He gets in the
Mm,
tackle, wins the ball. He could play some passes, that kind of thing. So
yeah.
he's more of a hard worker. He's got an engine, so
Hmm.
more of that than really a goal scorer. But you never know. Like his recent performances is where he got the assist and the goal in the last
Hmm.
game.
Yeah.
So you know he's developing still, in my opinion. So you know what I mean. This
Yeah.
is like maybe a January target, one for the future
Yeah.
type thing. Get him early
Yeah.
before he has his
Yeah.
breakout
If
season and gets the
true,
price up to
you're
60
right.
million, that kind of thing. That's what
You're right.
that's the way I look at this
That's
deal,
not. Yeah. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Oh
And the
yes,
young
the
Brazilian
young
monster.
Brazilian. Yeah.
You know what I
And no,
mean?
this
I
kid.
hear a
This
lot
kid.
of people
He's
talking about him.
you've had this guy for a long time. You've always wanted this kid for a long time.
Bro, let me tell you something,
Mm-hmm.
right? This young man he offers something different to Holland.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody
Yeah, yeah,
says
of course.
a lot of things about him,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll tell you who he
Mm-hmm.
reminds me of. You know, he's in my opinion, he's like a Rivaldo Romario type player.
Oh yeah.
He's lethal in front of goal. He's got a quick burst of pace.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? In that
Yeah.
first couple touches, he could
Ooh.
beat you, not just for dribble, but for
Ooh.
pace, and he's got a shot. He's
Mm-hmm.
right now screaming the Brazilian league right now. I think he has
Yeah.
like about 12 or 15 goals so far.
Oh,
And
it's there 15 GA, like 13 goals, 2 assists for in
all right, that's what I'm
in
saying.
27 game appearance. So that's not bad
And here the
for.
kicker. Last season,
Yeah, it.
Roma offered 20 million to get him, and he refused because
Mhm.
Man United was interested.
He's what should we call it now? For Brazil, I think for the Copa do Brazil. Let me see what. Yeah, all in all, he's had 27 appearance, 13 goal, 2 assists. So, yeah, not bad. This guy not Copa do Brazil 2023. He's had 4 appearances, 3 goals. Hmm. And he's very young. Is he the same age as but that's the thing, he's about the same age as Hoyland. So
Yeah, you see, but
but you
like
still need an experienced striker to
yeah,
put.
like I'm not saying we can't get an experienced striker, but I'm thinking more right now.
Mhm.
Even if we don't get an experience, we have Martial right now. He's here until the end of the season, right? So I'm
Yeah,
thinking he's the experienced striker until the end of the season, and you're not going to play him in every game, but you also
true,
can play Hoyland in every game. So if we get
true.
him, who is a different kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
different. He offers something different up front. And if we get him, it gives us a dynamic approach to attacking the game. Because when you bring him
Okay.
on, the attack changes immediately. The style of attack would
Yep.
change, even though
Mm-hmm.
it's the same five players going. It's the same five players going forward with him. He's going to
Yeah.
be moving differently. You know what I
True.
mean?
He could
And
play,
he's a
and he
kind of
could play
player.
around
He
across.
wants to get on the ball and dribble a man. He wants to get on the ball, or he wants an early pass. You know what I mean? He wants
Mm-hmm.
the ball into his chest. You know what I mean? So it's a different kind of striker. It's a different kind of style. And I think
Mm-hmm.
having Martial until the end of the season makes it easier for us to just go for a young striker, right? Before he
Mm-hmm.
has his real breakout season, before he gains the interest of the all of Europe, right?
Yeah.
And then in the summer we get an experienced striker like
Striker.
maybe like a guy like, let's say, like a Vlahovic or something, to come in, or like not even a Vlahovic but like a Taremi or something, someone who could
Yeah.
just be there. You're not gonna pay him a lot of money.
Money.
Like
True.
you pay him like 70K because he's not gonna be the main
775. Yeah.
striker.
Yeah.
He's just
Yeah.
gonna be the guy to come on and play some experience minutes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Take the pressure
Yeah.
off these youngsters while they
Yeah.
develop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
So that's just the way I'm looking at it.
Makes
And
sense. Makes
I
sense.
think we have to be a little bit more proactive and deal with more youth and get it forward, because we can't keep thinking about
That's
get the top striker now. And I think spending a
no.
hundred
Yeah.
million on a striker like Osimhen, although he's great, I think that's gonna affect us in the long run. And when
Get
I
this
come to
guy
the end
in.
of our
Get
roundup for and I was saying we
get
should have gotten him this summer. I was
get this
thinking,
guy
why did
in.
we buy Mason Mount? If we had gotten him instead of Mason Mount, you know what we could have been doing already?
Get get this guy in. I don't care what anybody say. Get this guy in. Even before this season, yeah, before the summer transfer window, in the January transfer window, I was saying I hope we get this. Like if we could just go in. I was actually looking at if Everton were gonna go down last season, we should have. They were really poor. They were
They
having
were teetering on
yeah
relegation, and
until
I was hoping
yeah
that listen,
some
regardless
guys
if they
came in
went
and
down or
still
not,
yeah.
I was thinking this should have been our midfield signing this summer. We should not have bought Mason Mount. We should have bought him.
But yeah, you're right because knowing what we needed, Mason Mount was more of a luxury signing as to or necessity signing, if you know what I mean. Mason Mount, we already know was the like quote unquote was going to take over from what's his name from Ericsson, right? When Ericsson finally retires or run down his contract or something. But that was we could still do with Ericsson for one more season, knowing fully well that McTominay wasn't going anywhere. We should have gotten this guy to be more of the cover for. I don't think he could play six. I think he's more of the eight, the very energetic one, but he could also do a job at six. So Messi Mount here is kind of looking like a luxury signing for me now. We should have gotten this guy, and it would have been in either the same bracket or maybe 5 or 7 pounds cheaper than Messi Mount, in my opinion. So I
No, he
hope
was like
we,
about 50 million, about
yeah.
50, 60. He
So
would have been.
yeah, so like I said, that's why I said about five, yeah, 5 to 6. So it wouldn't have been a bad signing, but I still feel like we should go in and test the waters in January and see if there'll be some sort of agreement as to. Because now that I hear that Everton are going to be 12 points are going to be deducted from their current points, so now that will put them at 2 points at the bottom of the league. I don't know what to make of that one though, but it's the
Yeah,
league,
well,
it's the EPL. They do what they please, and they are very pleased with what they do. So I don't know. As it's saying, do what you like, and you like what you do. That's what the EPL. That's what they do. So I think we come to the
we're
final.
almost to the end of it. We're almost to the end because this is just You know, the final thoughts of me as a Manchester United fan. I don't know if you're gonna agree with this, but this slide represents my intentions and what I'm focused on and what I believe in for Manchester United right now. I think the only way we could really get to back to the heights of where we were once were in our history would be Glazers out full sale only. You know, like a lot of people I think are taking the time and they're like, okay, let's
Mm.
give Sir Jim a chance. I'm not doing that yet. I'm like, until the fat lady sings, I'm hoping for a full sale. I don't care if it's
I,
Qatar. If it's not Qatar, it could be anyone else but a full sale. You know what I mean? And if the full sale
yeah,
doesn't happen and it is Sir Jim,
I don't
then
know
officially
because
to
yeah, people
cross.
just feel like if you don't want a gym, you definitely want Qatar. But the truth is, if there was somebody else in the running and that was not state backed or whatever the case may be, I would have been going for that person as well. As long as it's full sale, I don't care. I don't care. As long as it's full sale, I don't like, be it state backed or individual or a consortium or whatever it is. I have no idea. I don't care. As long as you're not giving the Glazers any chance to actually steal. I use the word steal from you, because why spend 25% and try to beef up boost up somebody else's property? Somebody said, it's not somebody likened it to a house. I'm like, yo, like, no, somebody likened it to a tool like you rent to own. I'm like, this is no farm tool. This is not a tractor or a car where you go and you keep paying until, no, this is not it. You already know these people don't want to sell. If reports are to be believed, they don't want to sell. They didn't want to sell to Qatar, even if they said Qatar was going to match their evaluation. They still wouldn't have sold, right? That's what the report made us to believe, or making us to believe. So why then will I go buy 25% and try to make the place nice and try to make everything look good just to have these guys to sell? I don't. I people tend to say, oh, okay, what if they have an agreement? I say, what if the agreement comes down tomorrow and the Glazers have some clause that um have them to actually revisit the contract and say, you know what, we need more money now? What happens then? Is it going to be a case of we're going to be seeing ourselves in court? And so it's, I don't know what it is, but I was going hoping to get the full sale when the old news came out that they were selling. That's how I feel. So
Same here, same here, same here,
it would be
same here.
so
You know
much
what it is?
joy, to be so much joy if these guys just wake up and just say, you know what, enough is enough. We're done with this thing. We want to give it out. If at that point Sajim has the money to buy all of them out, in terms of, even if it's just the 69%, buy them out, I'm with Sajim. But if he doesn't have that money and someone else has the money to buy just the 69% of them out at that time, I'm with that. So it's not like when people hear me say 25%, they say, oh, you don't want Sajim, black XYZ. No. If the Glazers say, we want to sell this club right now, our 69%, we don't want, if Sajim has the money and there's not going to be any debt, if it's going to be Sajim buying the Glazers 69, I don't care whether he does the stadium or what's not. It's not my, when you get the property, then you can actually count your cost and actually take stock of what you want to do with the football club, right? But if you're going to get them out, get them out, get them out. That's all. That's
Facts,
all.
facts.
But if he doesn't have the money, he doesn't have the money. So I don't know why people fault at those or try to call out those people that actually say he doesn't have the money to buy the six. If he doesn't have the money, it's clear and obvious he doesn't have the money to buy the whole of 69%. He doesn't, because if he was at that stage, he lost the battle already. So he only had to structure his bid so it could which we could actually say fair play to him. He restructured his bid to suit the Glazers family, because he understood that the Glazers family were that type of people that just loves money. So he had to attend to that part of them and make them come to terms with him. So, which to me, it's a good business strategy. But looking holistically from the Manchester United fans' point of view, we want them out. So, giving them some sort of leeway for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 years down is something that's not sat down well with most of Manchester United fan. That's all I'm saying. Because if tomorrow comes, they say they want to sell out, does the team have the money without borrowing?
Exactly. And that's just how we feel as United fans. You know what I mean? We've had enough of it, and we just want something new. We want change. We want to see a future where it's better
Mm-hmm.
for us. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
guys, we'd like to take this time to thank all of you for joining us tonight. It's been your host, Mark N, MUFC fan, and my buddy Drex, and we'll be
Yeah.
coming at you 2-3 times a week. You know, we're gonna have an earlier show. This tonight's show was kind of late. Normally, it should be 10 p.m. UK time. Got
Mm-hmm.
pushed back for a few reasons, but you know, guys, we're gonna be back again on Friday. You
Yeah.
know, tomorrow. I'm not sure if we're gonna do anything tomorrow,
No, Friday,
but
baby. Yeah, Friday.
Friday we're gonna be back with a show. I think probably around 6 p.m. or 9 p.m. UK time. We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna get in for like half an hour and just give a roundup of all the performances of the United players in the international games and a little bit of criticism on the game and how they performed. Guys, stay tuned for more. Like, share, and subscribe. Let's go, Drex. You know how it is.
All right. Thanks, guys.